So, how well did I do writing? You're fired. Well, why? Because I got tired of making this video. Fast, der seducer. You're being unfair to human. But he wrote a bad script. Oh, I have a lawyer. I realized is the documents was sharp, and I gave him my script as well. Well, what did it say? I think I messed up the script. Thank you for holding onto all the future scripts for a while. Don't worry, you'll receive your documents that are over in the cabinet over there. It's like this situation. Hello, good sir. My lawyer is coming back with evidence right now. It's great to hear. So, when will he be coming back? I'm gonna estimate 1:40 p.m. 100 minutes? Fine, I'll allow that time frame. I'll set it at the defense table so I can get stuff done. You got it. Alright, Mar. What do we have organized? Now, I have obtained most of the information in the press kit, such as the copyrighted material not being licensed for him to use, and being overdue with the project by 7 months. That seems accurate. However, there are a few issues. Having the original variation, you were referring to the loss from our progression, and that this press kit interview is a rare 8-track tape, so it cannot be played in modern VCR inserters. The closest thing that we have is episode 8 of the series to play. Alright, we'll do that for now. Just make sure that you get the other player here soon. Alright everyone, we're back on the air. Humanite, Mar, you're prepared to explain your side of the story? Yes. Since we don't have an available tape player, we'll play an appetizer video to show the basic traits of the unwanted behavior. This shows Diesel's ability to use copyrighted material and the review as propaganda. Hey, that stuff you said is not actual. I have no intention for my reviews to become propaganda. I'll see. With the unaired episode 8 of batches of episodes, Foptoodle's Cliffside Panic. Well, I guess I'm back for another review, with today's topic being a quite older one. Excluding some coaster concepts for reviews, this may be the oldest topic reviewed so far. Introducing Cliffside Panic. The map was created by Foptoodle, the most popular FE2 YouTuber as of now. Most well known for his weekly map compilations, flood news series, weekly interesting live streams, and FE2 memes that still stick by today. Hell, I bought Fop's merch just before this filming process that created by my team solely for dedication to the sky. Anyways, while this is his dominant way of attention, he did create a few maps. Specifically, 7 of them were created. I'll talk about the rest when I get to an individual review on Foptoodle, formatted similarly to the Francisco's review that we've recorded. For now, I'll talk about Fop's first FE2 map, Cliffside Panic. Being released in December of 2019, the map was featured on Fop's 4th weekly map compilation. After a month of doing these, while not the first video of this was the first time he would make a video of one of his maps. As for content relating to the map, He does the gameplay and has a message about him not having any prior Roblox studio experience as of that time. He would later mention that this map in a classic Foptoodle video called I Make the Best FE2 Maps, as well as the rest of his maps up to that point. So, what are his thoughts on the map?
They are all very bad.
Not the fondest idea, but still interesting. Alright, before we go further, I like to state that the format of the review, in which I'll refer to this video for the most blatant criticisms of the map, and offer all the flaws this map has, which are pretty major if you ask me. Anyways, how does this map start, Mr. Flurpdurple?
I think the music choice for this map is really good.
Honest to Foptoodle, I disagree with your 2021 self. For one, the music isn't synced up to the gameplay well, and the intensity as the song itself is very inconsistent compared to the gameplay. The biggest examples is the start, where you have a high intensity music, but nothing threatening happens around your environment. After that, a low tempo plays, which plays during the lava rising and the lava stopping, making it difficult to determine if the intentions were the pace was going to pick up. There are other examples during the end, in which the lava pace is different compared to the start having a similar tempo, or the parkour getting a button on the edge of the cliff is not too intense compared to the music. I would say at least it's synced better there. Also, another thing about the music is the music doesn't fit the concept of the map, which sounds more like a military base than a nature cliff escape. I get that it's a bit hard to find a precise one that feels intense, but it's still important. This is a bit of a bias, but Oil Oceans blows this music out of the water. Just take a listen. It's very contrasting views, as one feels like a dream, while the other feels like whiplash. Also, I forgot to elaborate on the new OST of the map, but it does have that modern feel of other maps. However, the map's tone doesn't really convey that excitement of the OST, nor the cave atmosphere.
The crystals, they don't look bad, right? Right? They don't look bad, right, guys?
I can say is that it doesn't fit the map setting well. Plus, it's kind of outdated and a bit overused for the time.
Who am I kidding? The whole map is bad. But this obstacle here, come on, you gotta give me credit. That's pretty unique, right?
Now for this obstacle, you're right, Fop. It is unintentionally unique. However, while this next criticism isn't your fault, it's still atrocious and probably the biggest issue with the map. Roblox physics have not been kind on this map. So whenever you have a steep wedge or a steep platform, you will usually slide off the platforms for no reason. Now for this particular platform, it's the least intensified out of the three examples throughout the map. Since once you learn this trick, it does become an interesting element to go through, and probably my favorite element for this map due to how it's quirky. However, if you do need to learn an additional trick that a map doesn't hint you intentionally, and the element is usually objectively bad, since unintentional gameplay could not fit your map well, even if it is like a good element on its own. Although, if it was one triangle, then I would actually think the element would work, as it's less complex to learn the element, and it could be like an interesting choice for the gameplay.
We're entering the second room of the map. Very open. I just made a huge ass room. I didn't fill it at all, barely. I did put some detail, but it's just so empty. It looks terrible. And what?
Yeah, if there's one thing that looks blatant about the map, it's the lack of detail. First off, most of the map uses one type of shape per object, as well as one material and one color for each detail, mostly being pebbled rocks or cobblestone, which, if you don't know, gives a very lacking atmosphere due to how little variety there is. The exceptions are some wooden planks, some grass, rope, crystals, and some rocks and bushes here and there are outdated materials that are found across many FE2 maps back in the day, most notably the time in 2018 to 2020. However, the biggest problem with this detail is that we cannot identify themes past the name. Yes, it's a nature theme, but how does this convey anything like that? I mean, what is with the starting being composed of crystals that don't represent an outdoor nature well, a tightrope, broken trusses, and random wooden planks on the walls during broad daylight, and not even a dark cavern? These rock triangles on the freaking side of the wall, despite having nothing supporting it below it, and being too flat to consider a rock at its particular place. Freaking rock spikes from the ground being too smooth and straight to be a rock. Hey Chris Semler, I found a map that you can make a flood theory on. All jokes aside, I'm just saying that adding a little more detail in the correct positioning can create some context for your map's theme and make some logic, as logic is very inconsistent in this map. The thing about the detail is that the grass is a bit inconsistent, whereas in the second room we see some of it, while in the first room we see none. Anyways, let's continue through this video, shall we?
What was I thinking with these rock spikes? What? It doesn't make sense. It looks ugly. It's,
Yeah. Very repetitive with no details or logic as to how water supports or salt physics work whatsoever. I'll say that the first two spikes are tolerable. However, the third and fourth spikes here have the same problem as the triangle jumps, in which Roblox physics will force you down unless you land on the right spot or is very... And it can be very annoying for any map, let alone an insane map.
but this right here, this is my favorite part of the map. Ready? Yeah. I did a pretty good job syncing the lava with the music. When the music kind of like starts building up, the lava rises. So cool.
Outside of that mediocre start, I kind of agree. The music syncing is quite decent, plus the lava here is decently fast, so it's kind of impactful. The gameplay from here to the third to last button being pressed is quite repetitive for either this map or other maps for the time. Final note from Fop's gameplay before having my own custom thoughts I couldn't place in this section of the review is that the button here has one awful jump, where the physics create a difficult route to travel through, which traveling both directions can be a bit unfair with these jumps, since not one, but two sides of these polygons present this problem, which does not make this fun or unique, rather pretty rigged. After that, the gameplay is nothing too notable, other than being standard for the time, which is pretty repetitive as of creativity for jumps, but inoffensive nonetheless. One of the big points I have not elaborated for this map yet is the majority of the jumps being repetitive, having not only the single detail being plastered, but the jumps being placed in a single line, which is mostly unheard of as of 2023's parkour and maps, at least to this extent. This occurs most of the time on the map, with the exception being the second button up until the wall jumps. No jumps that uses physical Roblox physics as an effect feels bland and unoriginal from each other. Even the rooms have something wrong with them. Just being two giant rooms doesn't have too much happening to be eventful. Now, while I do have many negatives about the map, I do have one positive for the map That being how easy I can navigate through the map within direction-wise. Now, while most maps in 2023 have more device and improved layouts, many maps have way too many signs to point a certain direction throughout the map, or has way too much detail in which they can actually make it much more confusing for the player, which is extremely redundant for the signs if you design the platforms to contrast the rest of the scenery or atmosphere, which Cliffside Panic does well, revealing exactly each jump is, and it has 2 signs throughout the map. Now, to be fair, this map has pretty small space, so it's not that impressive, but it's still an attribute that I wish more maps in Flashbacks 2, using the room and props to guide the player instead of 10 million signs that lead you towards your left. Overall, is pretty bad with most of its aspects, having very bland and unoriginal ideas most of the time, from gameplay to design, with only things being memorable being the creator of it, and a couple of jumps with how physics badly aged in Flashbacks 2, Roblox, all of that matters. The only 2 saving graces of the map is how easy to navigate the map, and that the traits aren't intensified to the point of being like super atrocious. Like comparing it to my old maps being not only outdated, but can be very annoying to navigate. So there is that to be proud of. I'll say his ideas did improve from this map forward, as his second and third map, Seafoam Castle and Oil Ocean, looks like to be an improvement of ideas. Since Pirate City has been acceptable quality as of detail and gameplay, if I get the opportunity, I will be willing to do a combo review of all of his maps in the future, as they are pretty interesting to learn from, seeing the progression of one of the most iconic FE2 YouTubers there is. Alright, Mar, what does this represent? Easy. You see, many of the Diesel's arguments are very lopsided with information. On one segment, he'll mention something briefly without going in depth, while in the other, he'll go on a tangent that makes no relevance whatsoever to the pacing. Also, he's very biased with his opinions. I don't know if it is designing his way rather than looking at it more generally. Well, it's a review. Of course, somebody is going to take it more personally. Yes, but these reviews should be more objective, as this is for more of a general audience. Oh, you got a good point. Diesel, any last words before the jury makes their final decision? Yes. All I got to do is a little magic trick. Everyone back up! It's time! Yes! Python, you're here. It's time to prove my stance. Well, Diesel, glad to see you and the rest of our lovely participants. Oh god, no. He's gonna screw us all. So, you're all wondering why I'm so late. Well, I've been gathering precise information about each client for this battle, and each result is quite shocking for the passionate fans of both. Before we begin with our video evidence, I like to say that Cumanite is guilty in this scenario, as he initially took over your position throughout the whole time Diesel was in a coma, and screwed up the production over. I had my fellow businessman Shark verify this information, as he held footage of these missteps throughout the office. Thank you, Diesel. Well, I wanted to outsource the tapes to save our budget, I guess, but this helped. Interesting observation. Oh well. Alright, yes. Hey, do you know who Diesel is? Yes. Well, I'm his lawyer, and I like to retrieve all the videotape footage that is located here that Diesel sent you. Alright. Question. Trust him only as a business partner, not really emotionally or too confidently. Alright, in that case, got something useful for you. Tape 1, August 23rd, 2022. Don't worry about the name, just put it into the slot. Hey, Mr. Smith, you know what happened yesterday with the flooding incident? Yes. Well, we need to repair the rooms, get the water out, and continue production. Is it okay if I can get the budget to repair the studio? Well, Humanoid, still investigating the situation. We're deciding to clean out the room to have a clear response if we're valid to fire Diesel after the flooding. Okay, just do what do you think we're gonna get as of a budget? I'll give you $5 grand max to fix these problems. Alright, deal. I'll see you later. Alright. Why would he do something like this? Three, two, one, fire! Our first event, as of Humanoid, was he was be willing to disrespect our host, Diesel, while being irresponsible with his promise to his own higher-up, in which he gave this money to tape Shark to discard. This includes him tampering with the production, using the money for only his interests, changing scripts, reducing episode counts for his own shows he've never gotten permission to produce, and sabotaging the company's reputation by slowing down production drastically by making unnecessary edits to the production. Are you crazy? That's all exaggerated myths that multiple staff members have joked about us being bad at production. Also, those were all coincidences. Really? Well, let's see your record. You were always a perfectionist at work, preferring a more analytical side of projects, without the proper information by rushing prompts, goofing off at any time, and the redundant censorship sections of most of the reviews. Oh, that reminds me. Enjoy these awesome behind-the-scenes drama that Kim and I took out of the production for obvious reasons. Interesting. Got any more? Yeah, I'll give you this. Well, we still have the bonus points. Yeah, I guess you're gonna up. Stop it. You're making it all worse. Oh no, your maps are barely cohesive, with bland spots all over the map, and oversaturated of those semi-complex shapes, with gameplay that's just one note and a bit slow. But that's my own style, and it's interesting. Still, Diesel, it's okay. I'll have to listen to him. Just be proud that you created something. Alright. Alright, just gotta get past this room. Damn it! Hello? Hello there. I was just wondering if you could make a video on Mars' new map. It's a map called the Decaying Industrial. Nah, that feels like a nothing map. Too dull to review. Are you sure? Cause I'm getting requested by Mar Arten Z himself to send this to you. Yeah, I don't really care about his maps in general. Nothing against him. I just don't really like the cat maps. Alright? You'll take care. Same for you. Damn it! We are caught up in this situation with Mar Arten Z now. How did I mess up this badly with the review? Hey, at least you've tried making a second review. Yeah, but I've gotten in legal trouble now. What should I do? Don't worry. I'll deal with it for now, but eventually teach yourself. Or I'll teach you. Alright, thanks. Ugh! She ruined the episode production entirely, being so stereotypical as of reviewing. Everyone, we need to restart preparation. And I get it, but we're at a time crunch. Plus, it does get your point accurately. But the format, the pacing, the writing, it's all so generic. Hey Diesel, at least we have an episode done. Maybe next week you could write an episode. Diesel, what did you do? Oh, hey, is Diesel there? Nah, I'll have to take over until Diesel's done with his coma. Well, I hope he gets better. Anyways, I have a few episode concepts if you like. Question: what episode are you on production-wise? Well, I can't say. We're quite behind. Well, maybe you can hire me. I can get the work done. I mean, I have my own YouTube channel, and I can make multiple maps simultaneously. Well, alright. You're qualified to work here temporarily. Great. I have a few map pages that we can work with. Alright, Cupid-eyed. I read through the script, and once again, so generic thoughts! Isn't it accurate? Is it what the public wants? Well, I don't like it. It doesn't represent what my thoughts are. Yeah. Oh, come on. This is a 10 out of 10 map. Still, this is for entertainment. And my map's building value. God damn it. We wasted so much time messing around with the production. I need to get those scripts done fast. Hey Mar, I've decided to hire you full-time. We need your help doing stuff. And quickly, I'll put you in charge. Alright, I'll write the episodes, and you can do the editing, and you can help with the production. Thank you. Let's discard the rest of the season's finished projects, since that's not very advertised or friendly. Alright. Nah, screw this. I'm gonna do improv. Hello, Foptoodle.
Hello, Rocks. Hello, Diesel.
Sorry to bother you off stream. Do you have any reviewing recommendations? Just to let you know, I am more interested in an older map. It's quite unique, but isn't that good. So I could learn from his faults. Oh, and it has to be available to play.
Okay. Well, you could try Cliffside Panic for a review. That map is a total L.
Alright, let's do it. Let's bring it in. You see, Humanoid encouraged and started poor behavior to allow so much procrastination, neglected his power of authority. If you noticed from those clips that Diesel was also in the wrong, he would become a narcissistic jerk that would also contribute to a poor work environment. So what? Poor behavior isn't illegal. In a scientist, many toxic workplaces exist. You're right. That's why we have our final piece of sufficient evidence. Contracts that you were formed. I'd like to invite Mara and Z to stand. Mar, would you please demonstrate the contract you reviewed? Well, I never signed anything from the place before. He gave me a liability form, but Kim and I never informed me to sign it. Interesting. If you can, please hand it to the projectionist. Now with this form, we clearly see that he would get underpaid in the minimum wage requirement. With this, the form would force liability on its workers if any of these strict procedures go wrong, such as the production. Also, the workers can be massively punished for this stuff. It doesn't violate even illegal laws. Biggest flaw, this was designed without the consent of a higher up. And coincidentally, we also have access from Humanoid's contract that wasn't designed by the higher ups, but rather Diesel. Well, I guess I've heard enough. I deem both of you guilty. Your punishment is 20 years of detention. What? No! Please, forgive my mistakes. There has to be a second chance. I'm sorry, but you've done too much wrong to consider a second chance in the industry again. Crap! I screwed up this horribly. Hell, we both did. I was the ultimate cause. It's getting crazier and crazier every time I want to get respected by the network or audience. Try explaining myself from my own perspective. Either too slow or cannot think of anything at that moment I want to explain. I have many papers that have been documented, hours and hours of content I want to explain, but that wasn't the final product. Get confused on feedback given to me by the community because it felt too vague, non-beneficial, or non-empathetic. And a lot of it is treated as the right thing without checking any proof. tried fixing my flaws, but every time it feels like it moves so fast, from right back into my old habitat. It's sickening, to be honest. Worst of all, after what happened today, I've gotten screwed over at my worst, making bad mistakes I shouldn't have done, all because of a desire avoiding discomfort. Well, to tell you the truth, life is a lot about cooking. You gain different ingredients, thought if throughout your choices, each ingredient creates a different reaction, regardless of intensity. A lot of how people develop is through life experience, and from that you develop your personality. This could be verbal or physical. You've experienced a lot of things, and yet you haven't gotten a awake chance to tie all those perspectives together. Out there you may feel like everything's moving at a constant rate, but here we can take a deep breath and figure out this stuff out. Also, I might be thinking that a lot of what Python said was suspicious for us. There are too many points that kind of doesn't feel right. Don't worry, we'll work with this together. Alright, but what about the review show? Is it not needed to be continued? But don't worry, we'll figure something out to make more episodes.